Griffin steps up, slides to the left side. He's throwing for the end goal.
Snap back, kick is away. But he missed it wide to the left, and the Trojans upset the fourth-ranked team in the country.
First and goal in the second overtime. Barnett hands to Woody, up the middle, touchdown! As the Cyclones win it in double overtime.
Last week, both Iowa State and Oklahoma were involved in two of the biggest upsets of the season. Iowa State took down the #2 team in the land. Oklahoma was stunned by Baylor. Today, both these teams play for their place in the bowl season. It's next on FX.
These are the days you'll remember the rest of your life. The rest of your life. Here we go.
Owen Field at Memorial Stadium, and this is the FX Game of the Week brought to you by Russell Athletic. Senior Day in Norman as the 9th-ranked Oklahoma Sooners play host to the red-hot Cyclones of Iowa State. Hi, everybody. I'm Gus Johnson along with Charles Davis, and welcome to Norman. And Charles, you know, sometimes one player can make a difference, and that's what has happened with this Iowa State team. Once they made a change at quarterback, they managed to find their groove.
Ended a 4-game losing streak and are 3-0 behind a freshman named Jared Barnett. And since he's come into the game for Iowa State, he's increased the dimensions of their offense. He can run it, averaging around 100 yards per game on the ground himself. He can throw it. And Iowa State did that quite well against Oklahoma State. Threw for 376, ran for 84, 460 total yards, and they sprang the big upset.
As for Oklahoma, they saw their national championship hopes slip away last week with their loss in Waco to Baylor. Now they shift their focus to winning the Big 12 championship.
And if you ask the guys internally, they'll tell you the #1 focus at OU every year is to win the Big 12 first and then move to national honors. But let's be realistic. This team was #1 in preseason. They had their eye on the big prize right from the start. Quarterback Landry Jones, linebacker Travis Lewis, 2 All-America caliber players. They were here this year to win a national title. They'll readjust their goals now. And if they win this week and beat Oklahoma State next week in Bedlam, they can win the Big 12.
All right, a lot of talented players on the field. That brings us to our Sprint Superstar Spotlight.
At cornerback for Iowa State, Leonard Johnson was terrific last week against Oklahoma State, helped holding down Justin Blackman, their All-America wide receiver. And for Oklahoma at defensive end, Frank Alexander has hardly been blocked all year, a prime candidate for Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year.
So coming up from Norman, 15 seniors will play their final home game against an upset-minded Iowa State team. Kevin Frazier, Marcus Allen in the studio, coming up next. Welcome back to Norman, where moments ago the #9 Oklahoma Sooners took the field. Time now to join the third member of our team, our sideline analyst and coach, Coach Tim Brewster.
Thank you, Gus. The wind is going to play a huge factor in today's game. It's going to be really hard to throw the ball. It's going to be hard to kick the ball. The Iowa State Cyclones are coming off the biggest win in school history, but they get no pats on the back. Young Jared Barnett's going to have to do a great job today of extending plays and winning with his legs. The other thing, guys, Iowa State wants to tilt the field with the kicking game. Field position's going to be critical. For Oklahoma, it's senior day. They're coming off a tough loss to the Baylor Bears. This needs to be, guys, an angry Sooner football team that imposes their will on the Iowa State Cyclones. Oklahoma's playing for a Big 12 championship, man. Today is a must-win game. Gus?
All right, Coach Brewster, thank you very much. And speaking of the weather, the wind certainly a huge factor in this game. 45-mile-per-hour wind gusts at kickoff time, and we're expecting rain in the forecast as well. So Oklahoma won the toss, deferred. Iowa State will receive the football. How about Paul Rhodes in his third year? He's 44 years old, truly one of the most talented young coaches in all of college football. He's coming off the biggest win in school history, a 37-31 double overtime win against Oklahoma State. Meanwhile, Bob Stoops, his team fell to 8-2 overall, 5-2 in conference play with that 45-38 loss to Baylor in Waco last week. However, he is 6-0 all-time against Iowa State. Oklahoma, Iowa State from Norman on Senior Day. Patrick O'Hara will send it away. Aaron Horn back deep for the Cyclones. And this will be Jarvis West returning. And West gets up to the 30-yard line before being brought down. And that brings us to our Chick-fil-A starting lineups. For Iowa State, they rank 44th in the nation in total offense, averaging 410 yards per game.
And they need to provide help to the young quarterback. Coach Brewster referenced Jared Barnett. They'll do it with Kelechi Osemele, their left tackle, and Hayworth Hicks, their right guard, two of the better players in the Big 12. And running back James White is a complete running back. They think he's a three-down guy who can do it all for Iowa State.
First down and 10 at the 30-yard line for Jared Barnett, James White, Jeff Woody, who had a huge game last week against Oklahoma State. This ball thrown to the far side, and it's caught. Darius Reynolds with the catch, and he goes out of bounds. Defensively for Oklahoma, ranking 62nd overall, and last week they gave up an all-time school record 616 yards to Baylor.
And David King steps in for Ronell Lewis at defensive end. Tom Ward holds it down in the middle at linebacker, and back deep, Javon Harris is a safety trying to bounce back from a tough game at Baylor.
Second down and 7, and the ball loose and picked up by the Sooners. An early turnover. Frank Alexander ripping that ball out, and Aaron Colvin comes up with the full recovery.
We said at the top of the show that Frank Alexander had not been blocked much this year. The defensive end, number 84, strips the football from White, the running back, and then Colvin wins the rush to the football, beating White to it after the ball's popped free. An early turnover forced by the defense of Oklahoma.
Oklahoma has committed more turnovers than its opponent in 4 of the last 5 games. Last week against Baylor, the Sooners committed 3 and forced 0. So Landry Jones comes in and starts with the short field. First down and 10, he hands it off. Roy Finch with running room, and he'll get out of bounds. Jake Nutt there to usher him out of bounds after a gain of 7.
Gus, you were talking about the turnover story for Oklahoma. In their losses this year, they are minus in the turnover ratio. In their wins, +5. That tells you about their season.
Second down and 2 at the 14. Early turnover by Iowa State. Finch trying to break it outside, and he'll get close to the first down. Looks like he may have gotten it. Jake Latimer in on the tackle along with Jake Knott. But when you look at this Oklahoma team, injuries a problem on both sides of the ball. They lost Ryan Broyles for the season, Dominique Whaley for the season. Jazz Reynolds not playing in this game because of his shoulder.
And that's affected them in their timing, their practice preparation.
That brings on Blake Bell.
He is their Wildcat quarterback. They call it the cat formation, and he's a big-time runner out of it.
And he runs it on first down, stood up and driven backwards. Jake Bell, a redshirt, who plays in that jumbo package. Last week against Baylor, 5 carries, 16 yards, 4 touchdowns on runs of 3, 1, 4, and 6.
And right now they want to go momentum on this one. Oklahoma wants to go for it. All year long they've struggled in short yardage situations. They felt like they have it corrected, running with Blake Bell out of the cat formation jumbo package.
Just the second Sooner quarterback to rush for 4 touchdowns in a game, joining J.C. Watts.
2 fullbacks in the game right there.
On 4th down and 1. They run the option. First down. Blake Bell.
And sometimes you need a little something extra to inject some enthusiasm into your team. They struggled short yardage. They went to this package with Blake Bell. The short yardage struggles have gone away. As you noted, Gus, 4 touchdowns last week with his legs. A key big first down pickup early in the game by Blake Bell.
Redshirt freshman from Wichita, Kansas. First down and goal. At the 6, Bell stays in there. And Bell lowers his shoulder and gets drilled. Nice looking tackle for Iowa State. Tafao the senior from San Carlos, California, and Landry Jones return.
I really like how they defended the last play. The defensive front for Iowa State gave no ground. Really, really nicely done. Defense coordinator Wally Burnham for the Cyclones had to like what he saw on that play.
Second down and goal at the 6-yard line. Oklahoma trying to come up with points off the turnover. Finch, scat back, and he'll get inside the 5-yard line, but will not see pay dirt as Jaquez Washington stops it.
And we have not seen Oklahoma throw the ball much on this drive. The wind is behind them in the first quarter. If you're going to throw the football, this is the opportunity with the wind with you. And I think that that's what they elect to do on this play with Landry Jones.
Third down goal at the 3. And Landry Jones lines up in the shotgun. Roy Finch next to him. Millard in motion, the fullback. Jones will let it fly. Jones, end zone incomplete. So Iowa State will take that as a win as Oklahoma forced to attempt a field goal.
And coming right at you, Landry Jones looking for the window to throw the football, scanning the field. Finally, he's covered well, trying to find Finch, but A.J. Klein, number 47, terrific coverage. And Oklahoma has to attempt a field goal.
Brings on Michael Honeycutt. Last week against Baylor, 1 for 1. He hit a 47-yarder. On the season, he's 15 of 18 with a long of 53 yards. This one from 20 yards away. And the Sooners are on the board. 11:15 remaining in the first quarter. And here comes the redshirt freshman, Jared Barnett, trying to lead this Iowa State Cyclone squad to their 4th straight win. Fox College Football is presented by Russell Athletic, who reminds you that together we are. And brought to you in part by Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper is giving away over $1 million in tuition. Go to drpepper.com for details. So Oklahoma scores first to take a 3-0 lead. They took the ball over at the 22, unable to get 6. And back deep, Jarvis West for Iowa State. Line drive kick. Instead, it'll be Horn. And Horn with the gap. Horn at the 40 and tripped up at the 45, maybe even the 46. A 44-yard return. Jimmy Stevens coming up with the special teams tackle. So Jared Barnett comes back on the field. Last week, in his 3rd career start, he was 31 of 58, 376, 3 TDs, 2 picks. He also rushed the ball 14 times for 85 yards. Where did this kid come from? Last time we saw them, Steele Jantz was the starting quarterback.
And he got beat out by Jantz in the preseason, hung around, waited his time, continued to prepare, and when he got an opportunity, has capitalized on it.
False start on the offense. Number 79, 5-yard penalty, first down.
But it's a pretty amazing story to watch a redshirt freshman come in and ignite a squad the way he's done it this year with Iowa State over the last 3.
They recruited a junior college quarterback in Steele Jantz. Jerome Tiller was also there, and then Tiller was academically ineligible. Jantz won the job initially. Barnett seems to will have it for the foreseeable future.
First down at 15. And they hand it off inside Jeff Woody. And Jeff Woody will pound it forward. And there's Steele Jantz on the Iowa State sideline. Barnett faced with a 2nd down and 12 down at the 43. To throw it underneath. This ball caught with running room, and it's Albert Gary. A gain of 11 yards on 2nd and 12. That'll bring up 3rd down and short.
like what Tom Herman, the offensive coordinator, is doing early with Jared Barnett and throwing the ball because they're going into the wind. Short tosses.
Woody looking for the first down, and he has it. And Jeff Woody last week against Oklahoma State, the former walk-on fullback, carried it 3 straight times in the second overtime for 6, 15, and then a 4-yard touchdown that sent Drac Tri-Stadium into pandemonium.
He is their inside tough yardage runner, a former walk-on who's earned his way.
Duran Hollis enters the game now, first down and 10 at the 42. Barnett, and he gives it up to Hollis, and Hollis will gain a yard on the play. Corey Nelson with the tackle.
And this Iowa State team last week, you would think having to play the #2 team in the country, you'd have to be perfect, wouldn't you? They were far from that. Look at the penalties, 3 turnovers. Look at the 3 and outs, 5 times, 8 drop passes, and still found a way to win. That tells you about the resolve of this team. It tells you about the confidence of this team, that they're not going to go away despite early errors like the fumble they had on their first drive.
Second down and 9 at the 41. Low snap, handle, quarterback runs the football, Jared Barnett. And, you know, Charles, we have to say this, if the two of us are off our game tonight, you know, folks excuse us because last night the fire alarm in our hotel went off, was it 4 times?
Yes.
From 1 o'clock in the morning on. Ironically, it was the same hotel that the Iowa State Cyclones were staying in.
And hopefully the kids had on those headphones we see all the time and just listened to the music all night and never heard the fire alarms as us old folks did.
Third down and 6 at the 38, and a flag. And a false start.
False start. Offense, number 75. That's a 5-yard penalty. Third down.
That's Hayworth Hicks, the senior.
And it's already tough enough on a throwing down going into the wind. And I was down on the field in pregame, and that wind is gusting pretty strong. So as you're watching your television, that wind is in the face of Iowa State, coming directly at them. They're trying to throw the ball short and use their wide receivers' legs to pick up the necessary yardage.
Third down and 11 at the 43. James White in the backfield next to Barnett. Barnett to throw. He's got a receiver and caught. Darius Reynolds holds on to the football as Fleming brings him down, and Iowa State continues to move the chains.
And this is a really nice throw into this wind because everything they've thrown before has been of the short variety. Now they stick it downfield, and Barnett puts it right on his receiver.
That's a gain of 16. Barnett running the football, and he's dropped. Nice job by Tony Jefferson, sophomore from Chula Vista, California. No Ronell Lewis for this game because of a knee injury.
The beast is not here. Remember our first game against Tulsa? We heard about Ronell Lewis and we saw it in action. He's going to miss at least this game and probably the Oklahoma State game with an MCL in his knee. David King stepping in to start to play the other defensive end opposite Frank Alexander.
And the injured offensive lineman, Ethan Tufte. And we will see if he can make it up right after this. 3-0, Oklahoma. Well, next week, folks, 2 of the most storied conferences in college football culminate their seasons with 2 epic championship games for the first time in their history, and Fox Sports will bring them to you on back-to-back nights. The Pac-12 championship game is Friday, December 2nd, and the Big Ten championship game is Saturday, December 3rd. Both games are only on Fox Sports. Second down at 8 at the 25. 45-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Iowa State going into the wind. Jared Barnett out of the shotgun. And another fumble! And OU has it again! Corey Nelson with the recovery.
The last one was a forced fumble. Frank Alexander popped it free. This one, I think, is a self-inflicted wound. Just an exchange, the mesh point between James White and Jared Barnett. Does he take it? Does he pull it out? Tony Jefferson shows up and knocks the ball to Corey Nelson. Sooners come up with their second turnover of the game.
So 2 turnovers on back-to-back possessions for the Iowa State Cyclones. And now Oklahoma has it, first down and 10 at the 27-yard line. For Landry Jones, one of the most prolific passers in all of college football. And a first down, they hand it off. And some beautiful running by Brandon Williams, the freshman. And he'll pick up 11 yards on the play.
This is the young man we thought we would see in the first game of the year. They brought him along slowly. Now he's getting more carries.
Jones moving out of the pocket. And it's incomplete, intended for Kenny Stills. But with the injury to Dominique Whaley, the walk-on, you know, he broke his left ankle on the first play, week 8 at Kansas State, declared out for the year. Somebody has to get an opportunity to run the rock.
And Roy Finch has been that guy in recent weeks. They worry about his size, but he's been toting it quite well, nearly 100 yards per game over the last 3 ball games. And now Brandon Williams gives him the size and the speed that they're looking for in that position.
6 feet, 192 pounds. Here's the handoff. Williams straight ahead. And he'll be tackled from behind by Jake Knott, a 5-yard gain.
That wind is swirling so much down there that even though Oklahoma has the ball, has the wind behind them, throwing it is still a little bit dicey because you never know how the wind's going to affect the ball taking off.
Brennan Clay comes in the game at running back for OU. Landry Jones starts this game 0 for 2 passing. And Jones over the middle. Caught Clay, but he is dropped for a loss. Terrific open field tackle by Leonard Johnson.
Really nice play by Leonard Johnson, the corner. You'll see him out here. He'll see Clay, number 3, come out of the backfield and go to the sideline. And look at him come up on the play, open field, one of the toughest plays to make in football, and puts him down and prevents him from picking up a first down.
So Tress Way will punt it from the 31-yard line. For Oklahoma, Aaron Horn back deep at the 10. High snap, loose. Way picks it up at the 10-yard line. And Oklahoma, huge mistake. Iowa State will have it at the Sooner 10.
Not something you see often, but James Winchester really uncorked one, and Tress Way thinks he can get up there with a little bit of a leap, unable to get the football, but does a nice job getting back there and covering it so Iowa State doesn't get it.
So James Winchester, the long snapper, also a backup wide receiver. Iowa State with the football, first down at the OU 10-yard line. Barnett, that one deflected, caught, touchdown, Albert Gary. With the presence of mind to haul it down, and the Cyclones are on the board.
Sometimes, even when you do the right thing on defense, it turns out wrong. Watch this play, because Barnett is trying to hit Gary. Alexander does a great job getting his hand up into the passing lane, knocking up in the air. And Albert Gary, who has really come on, big game over Oklahoma State. He had 7 catches, 109 yards, and a touchdown. His previous 11 games before that, 7 catches for 76 yards. Albert Gary is blossoming.
And the extra point, no good. So an American Horror Story start for both these teams, Iowa State and Oklahoma, 6-3 Cyclones. All right, folks, Wednesday, get your freak on with an all-new episode of American Horror Story this Wednesday at 10, only on FX.
Ooh. I watched a little bit this past week.
Did you?
Okay. Let me tell you something. Connie Britton, formerly of Friday Night Lights, she's good.
Okay, well.
She's good.
Kind of a horror story today. We've had 2 fumbles by Iowa State, a deflected pass resulting in a touchdown, a bad step, and a bad extra point. And we're still in the first quarter. 5:48 to play. Grant Mahoney will send it away for the Cyclones. Roy Finch and Trey Franks back deep for OU. And this will be Finch. He bobbles and picks it up. Finch with room. Trying to get outside at the 40. Breaks it back and goes down at the 43. Mahoney with the tackle. A 31-yard return. So let's take a look at the Chick-fil-A starting lineup for OU, ranking 4th in the nation in total offense, 3rd in passing.
And you need a versatile offensive line to do what they do. Gabe Eichert started the season at guard, had to move into the middle to become the center when Ben Hayburn broke his arm. And Kenny Stills, a versatile receiver himself, now taking over the role of Ryan Broyles.
First down and 10 at the 43. Roy Finch in the backfield. James Hanna in motion. Jones, far side. Caught. Stills goes backwards, breaks a tackle, and will get positive yardage. But it's always interesting to see these kind of offenses, what you run here in Oklahoma, and how would they play in inclement weather.
And we're going to find out a little bit today. It's not a horrible day in terms of rain or snow, but the wind wreaking havoc. How will they do it, especially when they turn around and throw the ball into the wind as often as Oklahoma likes to throw it?
2nd and 4 at the 49. OU with the wind at their backs. Finch spinning, and he's tripped up in the backfield and will go down. Nicely done by Rumpelhammer. Stephen Rumpelhammer, the senior from Tulsa.
Watch him in the middle. He's going to be working in here. Look at him. He gets chop blocked, gets back to his feet, and gets a big paw on Finch and puts him down. I'm really impressed with Iowa State and how they rally to the point of the football. And if they miss a tackle, there's always someone there to help clean up.
3rd down and 6 at the 47. And Jones steps up in the pocket, in trouble, over the middle, incomplete. Landry Jones put that one on the money, but DeJuan Miller with the case of the drops, and the Sooners will have to punt it away.
It's a nice job by Landry Jones buying time in the pocket, slightly behind DeJuan Miller, unable to come back and get it. And to, as you would say, Gus, to help your quarterback and to help your offense, reach back and snatch it. Unable to do so on that play.
So Tressway back in the game. The last time he was back there, the punt sailed over his head by James Winchester. This time a perfect snap. Left-footed punter away, gets it off, and he drills this one into the end zone for touchback. So Iowa State will have it at the 20, a 53-yard punt, a 33-yard net.
I think that's where the wind probably hurt the punter a little bit. That looked like a perfect punt. And I think the wind helped sail it into the end zone because they were down there ready to down it inside the 5.
Jarrett Barnett comes back in the game. Here's a young man that was ranked 27th nationally among dual threat quarterbacks at Garland High School, where he threw for over 2,100 yards. And the 1st and 10 line brought to you by Russell Athletic. Barnett rolls out of the pocket, throws on the run. Oh, almost picked off. DeMontre Hurst had 6 points in front of him.
And I think with them going into the wind, the Sooners have told their defensive backs, don't retreat very much. Going to be difficult to throw the ball deep against us. And DeMontre Hurst does everything correctly except catch the football.
Barnett 5 of 6, 43 yards. 2nd and 10 of the 20. Jeff Woody in the backfield. And Barnett runs it. Nice move as he cuts. Frank Alexander trips him up. Now it's time to go to Los Angeles for a game break.
Gus, Ohio State and Michigan, and watch Denard Robinson because we were trying to figure out how would the Gus Johnson Rise and Fire ringtone app call this play. Denard, the big touchdown. By the way, the app's free.
All right, Kevin, great job, by the way, with the Thanksgiving Day Parade in NYC. Had a chance to watch it. 3rd down and 4 at the 26. Barnett, he'll run it, bottled up, and taken down at the 25 by Tom Wart, the middle linebacker.
And how about how Frank Alexander played this one. Watch him at defensive end. He squeezes, he rushes the pocket, and then watch him squeeze down the running lane. See, he puts the pressure, and as he goes, he squeezes it down. And as Barnett tries to escape outside, Alexander left him nowhere to go, and the Sooners get to him.
So Kirby Vanderkamp stands at the 13. Kenny Stills back deep, and he signals for the fair catch and has it at the 41. A 33-yard punt. Great field position at the 41-yard line for Landry Jones and the Oklahoma Sooners.
And Coach Brewster told us at the beginning that the wind would wreak havoc in the passing game and the kicking game when it's against you. We just saw that with Iowa State. A very difficult punt there. Gives great field position to Oklahoma to start their next drive.
And Coach Brew, Oklahoma offensively looking like they're trying to get warm out there.
Gus, they've got to take advantage of the win. This is a huge win by Iowa State in the first quarter, winning 6-3 right now.
First down and 10 to the 41. Brandon Williams in at tailback. Jones, sideline. This time it is caught. DeJuan Miller. Nicely done in front of Leonard Johnson. A 19-yard pickup.
And he went up and snatched it over the top of the defensive back, just ran a physical route and used his body to go up and get the football.
Sooners quickly to the line of scrimmage, play action, bootleg, Jones, buying time, and he'll slide down at the Iowa State 35. 2:44 to play first quarter. Iowa State with the lead. You surprised the Cyclones have played this well, especially with Oklahoma having the football with the wind at their backs?
Especially since Oklahoma couldn't cash in on 2 turnovers forced in the first quarter. I like Iowa State's grit and resolve, and they cashed in on the snap over the head of the punter.
Second down and 5 at the 35. Here's a handoff. Williams. Whoa! He is gobbled up immediately. Jake Knott plugs the hole, the junior, and makes a stop.
There he is, number 20. This is how you play linebacker against a play inside. Hole opens, he shoots the gap, meets the running back right at the line of scrimmage or a little bit behind it. Well done by the all Big 12 linebacker, Jake Knott.
Oklahoma 0 for 4 on third downs. Third down and 5 now at the 35. Jones with time, slides, caught by his tight end, James Hanna. Hanna still running, and he'll pick up the first down inside the 20. On third and 5, they get 17. Jaquez Washington, the safety, with the tackle.
And OU wanted a wheel route with Clay out of the backfield, didn't have it, checked it down to Hanna, the tight end, and he runs through the tackle of Jeremy Reeves, number 5, before Jaquez Washington puts him down.
James Hanna last week against Baylor, coming off his best game of the season, tying a career high with 4 catches for 91 yards. First down and 10 at the 19. Play action. Jones, incomplete, intended for Clay. Now the Iowa State DBs, their secondary in general, doing a really solid job early.
And on that play was designed to go into the end zone. That was a shot play, trying to get it downfield. They took away those avenues. He had to check it down to the back and miss the throw.
Second down and 10. Jones again with time. Nobody to throw it to. Finally, he finds a receiver on the far side. Nice strike, Camille Jackson, the freshman from Arlington, Texas.
We saw him this summer when we visited Oklahoma on our little tour to try and get acquainted with some of these schools. And we were told then that they liked his potential. Now starting to come on with the injury to Broyles, Jazz Reynolds not playing. He's got to take a bigger role, and they liked his hands in the summer. They loved his hands on that catch.
First down and goal at the 7. Clay lines up as a single setback. Play action. Jones looking underneath Hanna again, and he'll go down at about the 2-yard line. Jeremy Reeves cuts him down with Jake Knott.
The play action and the offensive line are giving Landry Jones time to find receivers. He's able to check down and come off of primary targets and go to secondary guys. And look who's back in the game.
That's right, Blake Bell. Short yardage situation for Oklahoma. They were close before, but had to settle for a field goal. Second down and goal at the 1. Bell steps back to throw. Picked off. Knocked. And Iowa State bends and forces a turnover. Cyclones will have it at the 20. And that's the end of the first quarter. Iowa State 6, OU 3. Welcome back, 6-3. Iowa State with the lead as Blake Bell throws an interception in the end zone. And how about Coach Rhodes? It looks like Oklahoma State wasn't enough for him last week.
You know, the reputation was every year they pick off someone, beat someone they're not supposed to beat. Nebraska 2 years ago, Texas last year, now Oklahoma State. This Iowa State team is showing us that that game is not something they're satisfied with. They're not kicking back and saying, that's enough for us. Great year. They've come to win this game today.
First down and 10 now after the interception as we start the second quarter at the 20. For Jared Barnett, the redshirt freshman from Garland, Texas. Here's the handoff, and it's Jarvis West, another freshman from St. Petersburg, Florida. But, you know, when you talk about coaches around the country, Paul Rhodes has done just a wonderful job with his Iowa State program. He took over a Cyclone program that had won a total of 5 games in 07 and 2008, and then led them to a 7-6 record with some of those big upsets that you've mentioned. Second down and 6 at the 24. Barnett underneath, West, and he is stood up and taken backwards. Nicely done by Tom Ward, the middle linebacker.
Snipped out the inside screen, moved underneath the blocking, and blew the play up. And now Iowa State has the wind at their back in throwing the football. We saw one toss downfield in the first quarter by Iowa State, a completion for a first down by Jared Barnett to Darius Reynolds. Will they push it a little bit farther now with the wind?
Third down and 6 at the 24. Barnett with time, steps up. Oh, and he is tackled before he can get some momentum by Tony Jefferson. A loss of 2 on the play. And Iowa State will have to punt it away.
You hear all the time about hybrid players. Tony Jefferson plays outside linebacker and also can play free safety. And you see the tackling ability. He can play near the line of scrimmage, reads his keys, and the coverage was excellent downfield. Barnett nowhere to go with the football, allowed Jefferson to make the play.
Kirby Vanderkamp sends it away. Kenny Stills lets it take a bounce. And it will take an Iowa State bounce and keep rolling all the way to the 21.5. A 56-yard punt. 6-3, Iowa State. Landry Jones has to get the OU offense going. Welcome back to Norman. 13:05 to play in the second quarter. Iowa State on the road with the 6-3 lead as Landry Jones comes back on the field against Baylor. Jones threw for 447 yards, no touchdowns and an interception. First time in 25 games without a passing touchdown. First down and 10 at the 21. Play fake, Jones over the middle and caught. Miller in traffic, and he'll get up to the 40-yard line, a 20-yard gain.
Gus, he must have heard you. Remember when you got on DeJuan Miller and said, you got to catch that one? The one that was behind him a little bit? Look at this. Behind him a little bit, he turns and makes the catch. Inspiration. And DeJuan Miller comes through for the Sooners on a nice throw by Landry Jones through the wind.
Earlier during the season, Coach Stoops wanted DeJuan Miller to be more competitive with his body, and we're seeing that over the last couple of plays. Kenny Stills on the slant gets it to the Iowa State 45. Washington with the tackle. Now here's a man that's competitive with his body.
Kenny Stills can go up and make any type of a catch. Great body control and a good amount of strength too.
Jones dancing out of the pocket, throws a looping pass, and DeJuan Miller comes up with the reception. Landry Jones with nice touch on that football.
I wonder if that was a little bit of the win there, Gus, with because about how looping it was. I thought he wanted to come out there and really line that one up, and it ended up sailing on him a little bit. DeJuan Miller came back and got it.
Jones now 9 of 13, 104 yards. He's finding his rhythm. Second down and 2 of the 36. Second man through, Miller. And Miller will pick up the first down. Jake McDonough, the junior nose tackle with the stop. And Coach Brewster, you'd love to see more Millard in this game, wouldn't you?
I would love to see him line up here with 2 tight ends, 22 personnel. Let Millard play tailback. Let him run the football, Gus. I think into the win, he's a huge factor in this football game as a runner.
Love that 22 personnel. As you talked about, 2 tight ends. The second part of the 22, 2 backs in the backfield.
Millard 6'2", 250. First down at the 34. And Millard once again, he'll push the pile forward. A 2-yard pickup. Jake Knott grabs him by the ankle.
You see the play selection today, a lot more balanced than normal for Oklahoma. I think the wind has something to do with that, and them trying to establish a little bit of a control of the line of scrimmage, but it's not easy because I think Iowa State up front is really battling them. Rumpelhammer, 97. McDonough, 94, been stout inside.
And they hand it off to Finch. And Finch goes down at the 29-yard line. A.J. Klein with the tackle.
Watch the line play. Who's going to reestablish the line of scrimmage? Is it going forward or backwards? And Iowa State controls the line of scrimmage. That was a good run for Finch to get what he did out of that. Because I thought the defensive line for Iowa State stonewalled Oklahoma. Finch got a little bit of a sliver.
Finch last week, 17 carries, 95 yards. Third down, 5 at the 29. Oklahoma on third down, 1 for 5 this afternoon. Finch looking for the first and has more. Spinning and dropped after a gain of 8 yards on 3rd and 5, but a flag on the play in the OU backfield.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 59, 15-yard penalty, it's first down.
And number 59, Donald Stevenson, senior.
What often happens at the end of runs, offensive linemen are taught to clean people off of their running backs, to get downfield to follow the run, and at the end of the play to knock people off of the back so they don't take extra hits. Sometimes as they get close to the play and the whistle's blowing, they're hauling off and smacking someone and getting caught.
Oklahoma committed a season-high 9 penalties last week at Baylor. That's their first penalty this afternoon, but a first down at the Iowa State 37. Jones over the middle. And the ball caught by Trent Rattery. And he'll fight for a first down, the senior backup tight end. Landry Jones doing a nice job making the adjustment, finding his tight ends and guys over the middle.
And the adjustment started when Ryan Broyles' injury against Texas A&M. The go-to guy's gone, spread the ball around a little bit more, and the tight ends are becoming a more prominent part of the offense. And I love the way he's throwing the football on this drive into the wind, sharp and tight for most of his throws.
9th catch of the season for Rattery. First down, Jones. Over the middle again. Caught again, Kenny Stills. And Kenny Stills down at the 6. And let's see if they bring Blake Bell back in at short yardage, or after the interception, if they'll leave Landry Jones in the game.
Look at the throw and the catch by Stills. You can always tell those really good catchers, they go up, hands only, snatch it out of the air.
Stills against Baylor, 6 catches, 75 yards. 47 catches for close to 700 yards coming into this game. First down and goal at the 6. Finch spins, bounces, Finch, and he goes down. And there is a flag on the play. at the 7-yard line, near side.
Offside on the defense. Number 94. Half the distance from the goal. First down.
That's Jake McDonough.
Just trying to cozy up to the line of scrimmage. There's McDonough, 94. Ball's in here. He's probably so close to the line, his head probably across the line of scrimmage. That's what he's called for because he didn't jump.
So first down and goal now from the 3.
And as you noted, would they bring Blake Bell in or would they stay with Landry Jones in this situation? After the last time with Bell's interception, they stayed with Jones on the field.
And some confusion.
Timeout. Oklahoma.
And Oklahoma will call a timeout. 8:17 to play, second quarter. 6-3 Iowa State. Sooners knocking on the door. Fox College Football is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by Dodge. Visit your local Dodge dealer today. 8:17 to play in the second quarter. Iowa State with a 6-3 lead. Oklahoma with the football. First down and goal at the 3. And Oklahoma has had a good scoring percentage in the red zone, 91%, but the Sooners have scored TDs just 64% of the time. 0 for 2 in the red zone today as they bring Blake Bell back into the game.
And I bet he doesn't throw the football here.
He'll run it. And score. Good call, partner. Sooners put 6 on the board and make it a 9-6 game.
This is just power. I mean, 2 fullbacks leading. Offensive line, Bell just hesitates to make sure the blocking forms. See the lead by Millard? There's 74, Shed getting around. Excellent job by Oklahoma blocking on that play.
So Michael Honeycutt comes in to attempt the extra point. And it's up and good. 8:12 to play, second quarter. OU. Ground and pound. 10-6.
Coming up in moments on the Geico Halftime Show, scores and highlights from across the country. But Marcus, now I got to ask you, what's going on with the Sooners? They don't look like the Sooners.
Well, it's still got a lot of time in this half, but you can't take them lightly.
All right, yeah, you cannot take Iowa State as a different team. Yeah, Jarrett Barnett has changed the game. All right, let's go back to Gus.
Thank you very much, Kevin.
And I think part of what the guys are talking about, too, is energy. This Oklahoma Sooner team lost last week, so the national championship seems out of reach. There's not the normal Sooner crowd here today. On a blustery day, Thanksgiving, students aren't here. So the same normal energy you get here isn't there. So Oklahoma's got to manufacture that on their own, playing an Iowa State team that's inspired.
So Honeycutt will tee it up, and back deep, Aaron Horn, number 3, and Jarvis West, number 1. Ball takes a bounce, picked up by West. And Jarvis West crosses the 35 up to the 38, a 13-yard return. Let's take a look at the Russell Athletic game summary. What a weird game so far.
Tough start. Frank Alexander popped one free. Colvin falls on it. Oklahoma gets a field goal. And then another nice drive by Iowa State. A fumble. They pick it up. And then they turn around and snap it over the head of the punter, and Gary ends up with a touchdown from Barnett. An interception by Knott in the end zone from a pass by Blake Bell, and then Blake Bell gets redemption with a run into the end zone. Oklahoma up 10-6.
Iowa State with the football at the 38. Cyclones with 63 yards of total offense. Barnett underneath. It's caught by Jarvis West, but he'll go backwards. Let's see where his forward progress will have the ball spotted. A loss of a yard on the play. Aaron Colvin jumping on him.
I think Iowa State would love to find a one-on-one matchup and take a shot downfield with the wind at their back. It seemed to me on that play with Barnett's faking action, they wanted something deeper, and he had to come back and go to the check down back to his receiver.
2nd down and 10. And they hand it off to Hollis with running room, and he'll spin. Colvin grabs him, but it should be a 1st down for Iowa State.
I just wonder if Hollis had just kept going in the gap he was in and not cutting it back. He might have picked up more yardage.
1st down. Here's the option, and it will be kept by Barnett. And he'll pick up 3 on the play as Jamel Fleming there to stop him.
And there's Casey Walker playing defensive tackle. He ought to know about Jared Barnett, high school teammates, going at each other today. So I'm quite sure he told the locker room, this cat can play. We better be ready.
2nd down and 7. Cyclones at midfield. 6:34 to play in the 1st half. Hollis motions into the backfield. They hand it to him, and he will stumble forward and pick up positive yardage. Frank Alexander on the bottom of the pile.
Now the next jump in Jared Barnett's game, and remember, he's just a freshman, is going to be accuracy on 3rd down, throwing the football. All year long, they're 41% on 3rd down. Today, just 1 for 4.
3rd down and 6 at the 48. Cyclones need to go to the 42 for a 1st down. Barnett to the sideline, incomplete. That one thrown behind his intended receiver, Albert Gary. And Iowa State forced to punt it away.
And probably Jared Barnett exhaled with relief that it was just an incompletion, because watch the number of red shirts around Gary. He's surrounded. You talk about double coverage between Jefferson underneath and Demontre Hurst over the top. Fortunate that it was an incompletion and not an interception.
Kirby Vanderkamp punting for the 3rd time at the 38.
Ball start on the offense. Number 22, 5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
And that's Benton called for the penalty.
No one's ever crazy about penalties, but with the wind at his back today, it might actually help the punter a little bit if he uncorks one, because it may give him a little more room to play with.
Kenny Stills back deep, and this one shanked. But out of bounds at the 31-yard line.
But that doesn't help. That doesn't give you a chance to let the wind help you.
All right, coming up, Oklahoma's all-time leading passer, Landry Jones, and the Sooners offense look to put more points on the board after these commercial messages. Here's a look at our Chase Sapphire action cam, 5:34 to play. In the 2nd quarter, Oklahoma with a 10-6 lead over Iowa State. Landry Jones, 5 for 5, 74 yards. Into the wind on his last possession. Got off to a slow start, but he's made the adjustment.
The sharpest drive of the game. Into the wind, and he threw the ball quite effectively.
He'll start from his own 32. They run the reverse. Around the corner, Franks, he's a speedster. He needs one crease, and Franks down to the 25. Trey Franks, a gain of 43 yards as Benton makes the stop.
In Oklahoma, you know they're going to want to go quick after a big play, and the line holds them off, and they get out and wall it to the side and let him run. Landry Jones getting downfield trying to get a piece of the action.
First down at the 25-yard line. Clay running it left with a hole. And he gets to the 16 as Leonard Johnson stops him.
We talked with Wally Burnham, the defense coordinator of Iowa State, and asked him what impressed him about Oklahoma's offensive line. He said how athletic they are and how they stay on their feet and hold blocks.
Play again. Taken down by Jake Knott. A 6-yard gain. So Oklahoma managing to pick up big yardage on this drive. 43 yards on the reverse. 9 yards, 6 yards, and 3 runs. First down and goal at the 10. Pitch. Smelling the end zone. Dives. And he's down at about the 1. Taron Benton stops him.
Watch Shed folding around. Look at the block and the hole he helps provide.
Quarterback sneak by Landry Jones. So some late substitutions as Landry Jones checks out. Blake Bell back in the game on third down and goal at the 1. Bell, 6'6", 245. And he runs it. Touchdown. Second touchdown of the day for Blake Bell.
Play callers with no ego always get my attention. Josh Heupel, and what I mean by that is just because it worked once or you ran it doesn't mean you shouldn't go back to it again. This is the exact same play call as the previous touchdown. Fullback's leading, power set with the quarterback, and he barrels in. Josh Heupel goes back to what works.
The Tim Tebow effect, Charles. So many schools have seen how effective things can be if you have a big, strong quarterback that can power his way into the end zone in short yardage situations. Josh Heupel knows it.
And to tag onto that, the increase of the Wildcat and how you have to expand it. Because the Wildcat's great with running backs. But if you have a person who can throw it, it changes what a defense has to do in terms of coverage. As we saw Josh Heupel up in the booth. Because despite the interception Blake Bell threw, he's a quarterback first. So now if you want to run Wildcat out in the middle of the field, anywhere else but goal line, now the pass threat has increased what you're doing with the Wildcat set.
So on the drive, 6 plays, 68 yards, all runs for Oklahoma, scoring in 2 minutes and 12 seconds. And the big run was the reverse of 43 yards. Trey Franks getting inside the red zone. 3:22 to play, second quarter, 17-6. Oklahoma got off to a slow start offensively. But now they found their mojo. Line drive kick picked up. West. And West will push the pile forward and get to the 45, a 20-yard return. Now, don't forget, folks, tomorrow, Fox NFL Sunday has a full slate of games, including the Vikings taking on the Falcons, the Bears, and the Raiders. Coverage begins tomorrow with the Fox NFL Sunday pregame show at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific. Check local listings for the games in your area.
Playoff jockeying has already begun in the NFL. The Packers are clear favorite ahead of the field. Who's going to come up behind them? We look at the first 6 possessions of Iowa State. Touchdown, 3 punts, and 2 fumbles.
A great field position at the 45. Here's the run, Woody. And Woody stopped by Aaron Colvin, but it will be a gain of 4 yards on the play.
See how the wind puts pressure on the team defending that end? because Oklahoma, the last 2 kickoffs weren't very deep, good field position. The second one, they actually squib kicked it to try and get a little more out of it. Still, excellent field position for Iowa State if they want to take advantage of it.
2nd down and 6. High snap, handed off, Woody, power of football, and he gets to the 40. An 11-yard gain as Tony Jefferson brings him down.
This is a power play, as you described, Gus. It looks like it's going to be a sideways run, but watch there. See, Woody comes back, and it brought around number 86, Kurt Hammerschmidt, the tight end, to be the lead blocker.
1st down at the Oklahoma 40. They throw it out wide. Ball caught by Gary. Beautiful running after the catch. He'll pick up some nice yak, 12 yards. Tom Ward, the middle linebacker, stops him.
Nice cut by Gary, because watch Proctor 27. He's so physical on the block, he overran the play. Gary comes inside of it and picks up big yardage.
Play action. Barnett rolling. And he'll dump this one out of bounds. Frank Alexander with pressure. Tell you what, I love Frank Alexander. From the very first game we saw him, he has been balling out this year.
The difference between healthy and playing hurt we've seen this year. Last year, Frank Alexander had an injured ankle. High ankle sprain all year long, limited his effectiveness. He's been healthy all this season and has balled straight from play 1 this year.
2nd down and 10 at the 28-yard line. Jared Barnett, the redshirt freshman, 3-0 as a starter. Deflected, picked off! Whoa! Watch out! Sprinting toward the end zone. Lewis breaks a tackle. Touchdown OU! On senior day, Travis Lewis goes 63.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Number 12 on the return team. That's a 10-yard penalty. 1st down.
Wow, and we'll come back. Jamarcus McFarland wearing 12 this afternoon. Normally number 97.
Wearing it in honor of Austin Box, their teammate who passed away last May. Tom Ward, number 21, bats the ball in the air. Another tip pass by Oklahoma. Lewis picks it off and appears to take it the distance, but there's the block behind him. Number 12 out, Jamarcus McFarland with a clip in the back, and that brings it back. And really, it seemed to be an unnecessary one. Lewis ahead of the field. Didn't need to throw the block there. Just trying to help his teammate. Takes the touchdown away from Travis Lewis. But Oklahoma getting hands in the passing lanes often this afternoon and tipping passes.
So Oklahoma forcing 3 turnovers in the first half, 2 fumbles, now an interception. Here's Brandon Williams, and he'll get around the corner and get 7. Leonard Johnson with the tackle.
And Josh Heupel, I believe, is in sync with his offensive line. Talk about the play caller for Oklahoma. He senses that his offensive line is taking control of the line of scrimmage, and they're enjoying firing out and hitting people and moving and staying on their feet and getting downfield on second-level blocks.
Andrew Jones underneath. Complete once again to DeJuan Miller. And Miller will gain 9 on the play. The 1st and 10 line brought to you by Russell Athletic. .122 and counting, Oklahoma with 2 timeouts left.
False start. Offense. Number 61. 5-yard penalty. 1st down.
And that's Ben Abram.
Former starting center, broken arm, came back, is playing center and guard now for Oklahoma. See the penalty situation. There's a lot of action going on behind him. Hard to stay in there that long.
Landry Jones on 1st and 15. Firing, looking for Finch out of the backfield, and that one thrown low. Good pressure by the Cyclones. It's hard to get to Landry Jones, isn't it?
It really is. He gets rid of the football well. Offensive line helps protect him quite well, and they've got good backs in pass protection. And Roy Finch, Brendan Clay, they're really good at pass protecting with their quarterback.
Second down and 15 at the 33. Landry Jones all day to throw it. Over the middle. Finch turns the corner, and it'll get out of bounds. A lot of hard hitting going on the field this afternoon as Roy Finch gains 12 yards.
So watch Finch 22, top of your screen, shallow cross, puts the football on him, gets away from the tackle by Naughton. Look to your screen there. Nice job by Kenny Stills, number 4, coming from the sideline to help out with a block.
Third down and 3 at the 21. Finch, the single setback. Jones, the throw, in trouble. Jones, composure caught. Hannah again with a big catch for a first down at the 10. Jake Knott stops him. An 11-yard pickup for James Hannah. Nice 50 seconds left.
And that was a nice job by Landry Jones in the pocket. You talk about them not getting to him. Excellent job using his feet to find the throwing lane.
First down and goal. Stills! And he can't hold on. Incomplete. Back shoulder throw. Then he had to dig that one out of the turf.
The right idea, the right spot. He wants to throw it in this area away from the defender. Stills, he got a little push away on Reeves, number 5. Not much to call. Unable to come up with the catch.
Makes it second down and goal at the 10. 39 seconds to play in the first half. OU with 2 timeouts left. Jones steps up. Oh! Wow. C.J. Morgan had 2 hands on the football, but couldn't hold on.
And if this was an interception, to me, this goes on Landry Jones. Look at the ball placement. Look where it is. A little bit behind him. Possibly Stills could have pulled it in, but his momentum's going in the other direction. That's on his back hip, not to his front side. And Morgan doesn't come up with it.
One more chance. Third down goal at the 10-yard line for OU. And the Sooners will call a timeout.
Second charge timeout. Oklahoma. That's a 30-second timeout.
But don't forget, coming up at the half is the Geico halftime show with Kevin Frazier and Marcus Allen. They'll have top 25 scores and highlights and a Big Ten championship preview.
That gets decided today. Wisconsin hosting Penn State will decide one side of the bracket. Michigan State sitting around waiting to find out who will be their opponent in Indianapolis on Saturday. Freshman there, Jared Barnett. Gus, you and I talked about him in the break. Like a lot of what we've seen out of this young man already. Son of a coach. So you know that he's been raised in this game, the discipline. He talks all the time about after games, mom hugs him, and dad wants to go over what we need to work on.
He's responsible, though. I'm sure his father would tell him for 2 turnovers in this first half. He threw an interception and also the exchange on the handoff. His responsibility. Iowa State has turned it over 3 times. Oklahoma, third down goal at the 10.
Can they limit them to a field goal try here?
Jones bobbles it. Knocked away. Great job by Leonard Johnson, who's really been playing some terrific football. And Oklahoma forced to attempt a field goal.
He just continues to blossom, Leonard Johnson. The coverage right there, right on the hip of Kenny Stills, undercuts it and knocks it away. He's taken the challenge as it was given to him by his defensive back coach, Bobby Elliott, to increase his technique and his dedication to the game. And he's done that this season.
So that'll bring in Honeycutt to attempt a 27-yarder, good from 20 this afternoon, and this one is up. And good. 25 seconds remaining in the first half. OU tacks on 3 more to take a 20-6 lead.
if you're Iowa State right now, with the way the kickoffs have been into the wind, if you're Tom Herman, the offensive coordinator, you're saying to yourself and you're saying to your quarterback, Jared Barnett, you might get a few shots at throwing this thing downfield before this half is over. They have not been able to get the kickoff very deep from this end of the field. So they should get decent field position to start. They should get a couple of throws to take a shot downfield and try and get points before the half's over. Love the run the OU Sooners are on right now, 17 unanswered. As you noted, partner, a little bit of a slow start offensively, but amazingly enough, when they switched it over and start going into the wind, things picked up for the offense.
And the ball blowing off the tee. Honeycutt. Looks like Bob Stoops finally found the kicker he was looking for.
Yeah, Jimmy Stevens started the season as the kicker, had a leg injury. Honeycutt jumped into the breach and has kicked awfully well this year. Coming into this game, Honeycutt was 15 for 18 and has tacked on 2 more field goals today.
This one caught up in the wind and loose. Oklahoma has it. Wow. Charles, did you see the wind take that football?
We've noted the wind all game long. Now we saw a graphic example on that play, how the wind played tricks. And look at where Iowa State would have had the football. We're talking about the 40-yard line, and they call fair catch. So he knew the proper play to make, unable to come up with it. Looked like Jevin Miller, number 55, calling the fair catch, unable to come up with the football.
Oklahoma with 1 timeout left at the Iowa State 41. Let's see if Jones takes a shot. He does. Caught. Kenny Stills, a gain of 23.
Clock stops on the first down. They can get up to the line of scrimmage and clock it. They can spike the football and set themselves up. See, that clock stopping for the first down is huge for an offense in this type of a play, because the big shot downfield, really well thrown and really well caught by Kenny Stills, despite excellent coverage behind him. Looked like Leonard Johnson. And so with that play, clock stops to set the change. Oklahoma did a nice job running up and spiking the ball to save some time.
Stills with 4 catches for 63 yards in the first half. On second down, Jones. And intended for Roy Flinch. He wanted a flag. Jake Knott in his hip pocket.
Yeah, they're chirping about it, but the field judge, Randy Smith, was right on the play and saw it as 2 guys fighting with each other. So I think Oklahoma has time for 1 more shot at this thing. Remember, they have a timeout. So they know what they're playing with here. They've got time. Don't take the sack. They have time for 1 more shot.
Trips at the top of your screen. Jones dumps it off and incomplete. Finch, the intended receiver, with 6 seconds to go, and they'll bring on Honeycutt.
That's a nice job to me by Iowa State after the first big play and the momentum play on the pass by Landry Jones of shutting it down and forcing a field goal attempt.
Michael Honeycutt, the redshirt freshman, at one time was ranked by one of the services as the 17th best kicker coming out of Pierce High near Dallas. He's already nailed 2 from 20 and 27. This will be from 36 yards away.
First timeout, Iowa State. 30-second timeout.
And Iowa State will call timeout.
And with this wind, not a gimme. You know, we saw it on the kickoff, how the ball fluttered around if the wind catches it. So this is not a chip shot from 36 yards. Fellas looking pretty smooth there, aren't they?
Yeah, they look pretty good.
And how about Kevin? You talked about him doing the parade yesterday, and then back to LA, work today.
Hard-working man, and that wind causing some problems for both teams in the first half. .45-mile-per-hour wind gusts, and I think we've even seen a couple of snowflakes. So Michael Honeycutt from 36 yards away. Good snap, good hold, and a perfect field goal. Honeycutt 3 for 3 in the first half, and that takes us to the end of the half with the score: Oklahoma 23, Iowa State 6.
I like the way Iowa State battled them, but Oklahoma took charge in the second quarter with their offense.
All right, let's go to Coach Brewster with Coach Stoops.
Coach Stoops, you took momentum of the game in the second quarter. What were the keys that you took momentum?
Well, obviously the turnovers make a huge difference. Playing good defense and offense, our better drives have been into the wind. Landry's throwing the ball really well into the wind.
Coach, how much of a factor is the wind in your game plan today?
Oh, listen, we're kicking and throwing the ball. We're talking about it all the time. What we can manage, it's pretty tough.
Thanks a lot, Coach.
All right, Tim, thank you.
All right, it's halftime here in Norman with the score 23-6. Oklahoma will have the football to start the second half. We'll send you to Kevin Frazier and Marcus Allen in Los Angeles. The Geico halftime show after these messages. Welcome back to Norman, where the Sooners lead the Cyclones 23-6 at halftime. Gus Johnson along with Charles Davis, CD in that first half. Oklahoma doing a terrific job of capitalizing on Iowa State mistakes.
4 turnovers total for Iowa State. Give Iowa State's defense credit. They battled like crazy, only 9 points. But when Oklahoma had opportunities, especially in the second quarter, against the wind, the offense really started to flow for them. And one of the big plays, let's take a look at our Capital One playbook. The reverse by Oklahoma. What a play, because watch what they do. Okay, the left tackle is Donald Stevenson. The center is Gabe Eichert. They get out and run. And look at this, the blocking downfield. That's Stevenson, number 20, working on number 23, Leonard Johnson. Downfield, Landry Jones gets to block the quarterback, and the center, Gabe Eichert got downfield too. The ability of Oklahoma's offensive line to run and make plays on their feet in space. One of the reasons their running games got going in the first half.
And let's take a look at the numbers from the first half.
The 4 turnovers obviously key. That's the big one there because that's limited Iowa State's opportunities. But other than that, they battled them the whole way. Really impressed with Iowa State's defense, not sagging at all after the number of turnovers that have been committed.
So OU will have the football to start the second half. Roy Finch, Trey Franks back deep for the Sooners. And this will be Finch. And Finch gets up to the 25-yard line. Now let's go down to the sideline to Tim Brewster.
Thank you, Gus. Bob Stoops and the Oklahoma Sooners want to play a very clean second half. They want to take advantage of the win. 26 out of 29 points against the wind. When they've got the win, they got to take advantage. They want to pound the rock with Trey Millard and eat the clock. Iowa State running on first down must not be predictable. Ball security is a huge issue when they get the opportunities in the red zone. Score touchdowns, man.
All right, thank you very much, Coach Brewster. So Oklahoma's Landry Jones takes over at the 25. James Hanna in motion. They hand it off. Williams. All sorts of running room, and he'll pick up a first down. That's a 12-yard pickup. A.J. Klein, the middle linebacker, with the tackle.
Look at this, Gus. Coach Brewster just talked about it. 26 of the 29 points scored today against the wind. No one would have thought that coming into it because of such a factor wind usually plays in games like this.
First down at the 37. Jones, short drop. Over the middle, incomplete. Ball intended for James Hanna. Hanna with a terrific first half receiving the football, 3 catches, 33 yards.
Sometimes when they're too easy, they just don't make it. But I think on that play, James Hanna was trying to catch the football and turn upfield before he ISO'd it and put it away, tucked it away against his body.
Jones underneath once again, and it's DeJuan Miller. Close to a first down, looks like he has it. DeJuan Miller coming on strong in the first half, 4 catches, 56 yards. And they give him the first.
They have the wind here. If they want to take the shot downfield, 1st and 10, able to run the ball. This might be a time for play action and take it.
Play action. Jones going for everything. Miller with a step and a flag. This is going to be pass interference against Jeremy Reeves. Or will it be?
He's celebrating like it's offensive pass interference.
Pass interference, offense, number 24. That's a 15-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
Isolated, 24 in red, 5 in white, hand fighting with each other. That's one of those plays that oftentimes the flag stays in the pocket because both of them are hand fighting with each other. Very rarely do you see the offensive guy called for the push-off, but if the call is made correctly, did you see that last one on the inside as he tried to push to go for the football? That was probably the one that drew the flag.
So first down and 25 to go as they back Oklahoma up to their own 32-yard line. Landry Jones setting up a screen and incomplete. Finch, the intended receiver. And Jones under pressure. Landry Jones rarely sacked this year. Oklahoma leads the nation, having allowed just 6 sacks. Conversely, on the other side of the ball, the Sooners are number 3 in the nation with 36 sacks, led by Frank Alexander's 8.5. Second down and 25. Jones caught by Miller out of bounds in front of Reeves.
Reeves came within a whisker of batting that football away. Guy jumps the route, just missed that opportunity. Nice concentration by DeJuan Miller to haul that one in.
DeJuan Miller, 7 catches, 77 yards. He's averaging 13 yards a grab, 3rd and 14 at the 43. They need to go to the Iowa State 43 for first down. Jones bouncing out of the pocket, buying time, and he'll step out of bounds just in front of the line of scrimmage. Jake McDonough giving chase, and Oklahoma forced to punt the ball.
Nice series by the Iowa State Cyclones defense. Oklahoma gets the ball with the win to start the second half, up 23-6, and Iowa State, after an early scare on the deep ball when everyone thought it was going to be pass interference, it turned out it was against Oklahoma. They shut them down and forced the punt.
Tress Way, his last punt, 53 yards. Aaron Horn standing at his own 10-yard line. And Horn with the fair catch at the 13. A 41-yard punt. Turnovers have been a problem for Iowa State. 2 fumbles, 1 interception, and a muffed punt.
This was early in the game. First series for Iowa State. Then on another series, they were going in, looked like they get points. Missed the next point. The block pass by Tom Wharton, the interception by Travis Lewis, and then the punt, the muff punt there by Jevin Miller. Excuse me, the muff kickoff.
Iowa State with 104 yards in total offense. Oklahoma has 317. First down at the 13 for Jared Barnett. Out of the gun. And he'll run it. Barnett, a lot of running room, dives, and depending on the spot, he may have a first down. Travis Lewis chasing him, and he gets up a little woozy.
Travis Lewis with a little emphasis coming over the top at the end of the run. Watch Barnett find the gap, coming right at you. And he takes off, stumbles a little bit. You see Lewis landing on top of him.
And now, first down, as Jeff Woody dives forward and picks up 3 in front of Jamel Fleming. What a year it's been for this Iowa State squad. It's been one of those up and down type seasons. 6-4 conference play, 3-4 in the Big 12. All first down.
Ball start. Offense. Number 7. 5-yard penalty. First down.
And that's on Darius Reynolds, the senior. So last week, Iowa State beat Oklahoma State 37-31 in double overtime in Ames. Trying to beat Oklahoma and Oklahoma State in the same year for the first time in 51 years. First down at 15. Woody. And he's brought down from behind by Corey Nelson.
So they've done it twice before, correct? And I think it was back-to-back years, as you noted. I mean, as you said, what, 51 years ago? I think it was 60, 61, and haven't done it since then.
Coach Rhodes, hot prospect in the world of college football. Second down and 12. They'll go for a long ball, and it is incomplete. Barnett toward the far sideline for Darius Darks, but he couldn't haul it in.
We keep talking about this wind, but both quarterbacks have shown enough arm to cut through the wind with sharp passes. That was not a bad throw to Darius Darks, just unable to come up with it.
Third down and 12 at the 23. They need to go to the 35 for a first down. And it's caught, but not enough for a first down as Barnett threw it over the middle to Jarvis West, and it'll be about a yard short.
Really nice catch by Jarvis West, but the tackling was there for Oklahoma. They knew where the sticks were in terms of playing defense and reacted, rallied, and did not allow him to turn upfield, catch the ball, and get his feet down. It's a good tackle by Hurst to put him down, forcing the punt by Iowa State.
Fourth punt of the afternoon for Vanderkamp. And this one gets caught up in the wind and goes out of bounds. Let's see where they mark the football. Oklahoma will have it at their own 40. 26-yard punt. Fox College Football is brought to you by Chick-fil-A. We didn't invent the chicken, just the chicken sandwich. Welcome back, 23-6, Oklahoma with the football and the lead at the 40-yard line. And our first and 10 line brought to you by Russell Athletic. Landry Jones, 17 of 30, 209 yards. No touchdowns, no interceptions. Finch running, slicing, Finch. Beautiful move, and he gets to the Iowa State 40, a 20-yard gain. Jaquez Washington stops it.
Look to the left side. Just rolled through that one. Got a night that help from Stills downfield.
Jones rolling out of the pocket on first down, and Finch knocked out of bounds. You got to give this Oklahoma offensive line a lot of credit for the way they've been run blocking this afternoon.
There's such a multiple team because you hear about them throwing it all the time, and oftentimes teams that throw it as much as Oklahoma have trouble going to the other side and being physical in the run game. We have not seen that at all today from the Oklahoma Sooners. This line has been well synchronized and done a nice job.
Second down and 10.
I think we were called for in the first time. You let them go.
And Jones under pressure. Over the middle, caught. DeJuan Miller, after dropping a ball that would have been a difficult catch early, he has really played some very good football.
And Landry Jones got rid of the football with no one to protect against Jake Knott, so he became his own blitz relief pressure by making sure the ball was out of his hands and getting it downfield.
Now they bring Blake Bell into the game with the ball at the 31. They haven't gotten into the red zone yet. Third down, 1 at the 31. Bell runs it, and he'll get back to the line of scrimmage. Why do you bring him in, Coach Brewster, and you're not in the red zone yet?
Well, again, it's a short yardage situation, Gus, and they feel like they've got an opportunity, a good opportunity, to make the first down with Bell as a runner.
That is their power package, what they've done best in short yardage, and it's also an expansion of what they're going to want to do later with him. Out in the field, fake the run and throw it.
They're going to go for it on fourth down. Bell runs it and picks up the first. I don't know, Charles, and not to second guess Coach Heupel or Coach Stoops, but a quarterback like...
And this look familiar to you before we get to there, Gus? Does this play look like something we've seen already today? The 2 touchdown runs by Bell, same play.
Is that really what you want to do, to take a guy like Landry Jones out of the game?
They've been doing this throughout the year, and this is the first package they found where they've been comfortable in short yardage and goal line. All year they've struggled in short yardage and goal line, trying to run it, figuring it out. This is the package that's worked best for them.
And Finch fumbled. Iowa State with the football, and Oklahoma turns it over, but that's the problem. 2 different quarterbacks handling the football, and things can happen sometimes. A different feel, although a great play by Iowa State. Cyclones with it. Nice job by Jake McDonough to force that fumble.
Taryn Benton, who recovered it, number 22 on the bench.
Iowa State now with the football at the 22. Cyclones have turned it over 4 times. Sooners have turned it over twice. Barnett. And false start.
False start. Offense, number 72. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Kelechi Osemele, the star left tackle.
See, this is what hurts your offense when you're starting 1st and 15, deep in your own territory to begin with, going into the wind, so it's tougher to throw the football, getting way behind the chains on first down.
At the 17. And this one thrown up the sideline, incomplete. Intended for Darius Reynolds.
Nice coverage by Jamel Fleming on the sideline, pins him to the sideline with his hip. He's going to take a perfect throw to get there and make it. Reynolds reaching up with one hand, unable to haul it in.
Second down and 15. .130 yards of total offense for Iowa State. Oklahoma 349. And they hand it off straight ahead, and a lot of running room for Hollis as he picks up 13 on 2nd and 15. Aaron Colvin stopping him from getting the first down.
Nice run by Duck Hollis, because now it makes it 3rd and manageable.
Cyclones need 2. Let's see if Barnett elects to run the football. And they hand it off, and Woody pushes the pile and picks up a first down. Tom Ward finally stops him. So Iowa State will get a fresh set of downs.
He's a tough, hard-nosed kid, isn't he?
Yes, he
Jeff
is.
Woody. He's the type of kid everybody wants on a team. A former walk-on who's earned his way and gives him the tough yards inside and will forever go down in Iowa State lore with that touchdown against Oklahoma State, knocking off the number 2 ranked Cowboys.
First down and 10 at the 34. 7 carries, 33 yards for Woody. They give it to him again, and Woody breaks it big. He'll pick up at least 12 on the play. Make it 13.
And this is an example of a running back understanding who he is. One cut, upfield, straight ahead, get all you can out of it.
First down to the 47. Hollis back in. And this time Barnett keeps it, and he will be challenged to get back to the line of scrimmage. What's the philosophy on that play? You talk about the mesh, as you say.
Yeah, the mesh point, what they're doing is riding the running back a couple of extra steps to see and really ensure which way you want to go. Do you want to give it to him? Does he have better opportunity, or do you have that opportunity? You're trying to get the defense to commit to the running back and pull it out and go the opposite direction.
Second down and 10 at the 47. This time they'll hand it straight ahead. Hollis. And Hollis stopped by Colvin, but it's an 8-yard pickup.
And watch it. This is what you were talking about, Gus. The mesh point between quarterback and running back. See the quarterback reading to the right. His head was out, looking to see, do I hand it off inside based on whether they crash down or not, or do I pull it and go out the backside? Well done on that play by Iowa State.
Third down and 2 at the 45. Could be 4-down territory for the Cyclones if they don't get it here. Barnett runs it, and he doesn't get it. Wow, Tony Jefferson sticking him. So let's see what Coach Rhodes decides to do. With the ball at the 45.
And the wind is a factor, but I think the clock's a bigger factor. 23-6, they've had so many turnovers, they've hurt their opportunities. I think here you gotta go. And the reason I would say go is the clock ticking down. I don't know about playing much defense with Oklahoma 23-6. I want to take my shot now.
Well, they elect to punt it. 5th punt for Vanderkamp. And Kenny Stills with the fair catch at the 19. A 26-yard punt. 23-6, Oklahoma. Next week, 2 of the most storied conferences in college football culminate their seasons with 2 epic championship games for the first time in their history, and Fox Sports will bring them to you on back-to-back nights. The Pac-12 championship game Friday, December 2nd, and the Pac-10, the Big Ten championship game, is Saturday, December 3rd, and both games are only on Fox Sports. So Paul Rhodes electing to play it safe and punt the ball away. Oklahoma has it at the 20. Landry Jones goes deep. Miller, incomplete. Let's go downstairs to Coach Brewster. Coach Brewster, your thoughts on that 4th and 2 in which Coach Rhodes elected to punt the ball?
Gus, I didn't agree with the decision. I don't think there's going to be many more possessions. They're down 23-6. It's all about the message you're sending to your team. Guys, 4th and 2, let's give the ball to Jeff Woody and go get 2 yards.
Second down and 10 to the 19. Here's a handoff. Williams trying to get outside. Tell you what, though, Coach Brewster, this Iowa State squad, scrappy. One of their signature sayings is all in, and I guess you have to credit their head coach for the way this team plays and competes.
You really do, Gus. Paul Rhodes has done as good a job as anybody in America. He maximizes the potential of his team every game.
Third down and 7 to the 22. Jones needs 7 yards, and Finch will get him 8. Dion Broomfield with the tackle, but Roy Finch has been very good at doing a little bit of everything, Charles, this afternoon.
And they keep worrying about his size, listed at 5'7", about 166 to 170 pounds, but he keeps producing.
Intended for Finch. That ball knocked away. A.J. Klein, I believe, got a hand on.
See, I was in total agreement with Coach Brewster about them going for it there, all right, instead of punting it away. But if A.J. Klein comes up with that play, that's when Paul Rhodes would have said, this is why I punted it. I want to play field position. My defense has been fighting and scrapping. I want to give them an opportunity.
Second down and 10 at the 30-yard line. Brandon Williams lines up behind Landry Jones. Twins at the bottom. Jones drops it off. Kenny Stills. And Kenny Stills roughed up by A.J. Klein after a 7-yard gain. Brings up 3rd down and 3.
And on this 3rd down with Oklahoma, they're not going with Blake Bell in their power set. They're going to keep the ball in the hands of Landry Jones and see if he can go through progressions and find someone for a 1st down.
Brennan Clay comes in at a running back for Jones. Jones incomplete. Maybe Paul Rhodes was right. Oklahoma will punt it away. James Hanna, the tight end, the intended receiver.
Looked like nice coverage by Jake Knott, number 20. Their all-star linebacker sits right in his hip pocket and takes away the arm and knocks it away. Well played by the linebacker.
So the defense has been solid this afternoon for Iowa State. The offense has forced this defense to play even harder than they should be playing. Way. Short punt. Takes an Oklahoma bounce. And will be downed inside the 15. A 50-yard punt. So with 2:35 to go in the 3rd, Iowa State will play with a long field once again. They haven't had great field position in this game this afternoon. And when you look at the turnovers, 3 turnovers, 2 fumbles, and 1 interception by the offense, and then there's that muffed punt as we take a look at our Chase Sapphire action cam.
And they had hoped to flip field position at the least when they decided to punt the football, but Tress Way flipped it back at him, forcing him to go, as you noted, the long field.
Barnett hands it off, and Jeff Woody pick up a 1.5 yards. Coach Brewster, your thoughts?
You know, again here, they're throwing into the wind, strong wind. You know, Jared Barnett's got to do a great job here of being able to spin the ball. You know, we've talked about being able to throw it. He's got to be able to get the ball spun into the wind.
2nd down and 9 at the 14. Barnett over the middle. Caught. Nice grab. And even more yardage for the Hammer. Kurt Hammerschmidt gets all the way up to the 46-yard line. That's a 30-yard gain.
And you got a crossing action, too, with the receivers. See, it looks like Gary underneath, but he had Hammerschmidt the whole way and catches him for a nice 1st down. Coach Brewster has talked about spinning it into the wind. You got to have that tight revolution on the ball, and Jared Barnett had that for the 1st down.
So 1st down for Iowa State. Woody running. And Jeff Woody has carried the load for the Cyclones this afternoon. 10 carries, 52 yards. Frank Alexander there to bring him down. Not only do you want a kid like this on your team, when he comes out of college, you want him in your company, working for you somewhere.
Because you know the work ethic and the production you're going to get is going to be terrific.
2nd down and 6 at the 48. Hollis lines up in the backfield. And they hand it to him. And he slips and falls down in front of Aaron Colvin. So impressed, Charles, in my first year calling college football in about 17 years with how hard these kids work both on and off the field and how well they're coached by these gentlemen that look after them every day.
And it's such a full-time job, really, when you get down to it. The off-season that you used to have where you didn't do a whole lot and come back in August and see them, that doesn't exist anymore. These kids are working at it almost every day throughout the year.
On 3rd down at 4, Barnett steps up, drops it off, and it should be a first down for Darius Reynolds. Tony Jefferson has really done a nice job of tackling in the open field, but this time Reynolds picks up the first down.
Good job of Reynolds understanding where the first down line was and throwing his body in that direction despite the nice tackle.
That should take us to the end of the 3rd quarter. With the score, Oklahoma 23, Iowa State 6. The FX College Football Game of the Week will be back after these messages. Welcome back as we start the 4th quarter. Those guys must play the tuba. Tuba guys are always a little different.
That would include me, because I played the tuba up until 8th grade. And then
that explains everything.
I was the first band member in New Paltz who they said, it'd be best if you don't come back.
Kicked off the band. First down at 10 at the 45. Barnett put some steam on that football, and it's incomplete, intended for Darius Darks. And Coach Brewster, you are really impressed with Paul Rhodes and what he's been able to do this season.
I really am. I think he's done an outstanding job. A couple of years ago, Gus, we played him in the Insight Bowl. He beat me 14-13. I tell you, I think he's done as good a job as anybody in the country.
2nd down at 10 at the 45. And some movement on the Iowa State offensive line.
False start. Offense, number 69. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
And he's getting good help, too, isn't he, Coach Brew, from his administration?
He really is, Charles. Jamie Pollard, the AD there, has done a great job of supporting Paul. He's an Iowa native. There's a lot of people that are going to come calling, but I'll tell you what, it's going to take a lot to get Paul Rhodes to leave the state of Iowa.
2nd down at 15 at midfield. Right now, Coach Rhodes' offense just unable to get anything going. Barnett looking for an incomplete. Hammerschmidt again, the intended receiver.
We talked about it in the first half, Gus. Jared Barnett is going to be a really top-notch quarterback. I think he's pretty good already. But this is the next step. He's got to complete throws like that. I mean, that's an open receiver that you got to put the football on to help your drives continue.
3rd down and 15 at midfield. Barnett, and incomplete. That one sailing over the head of Darius Reynolds.
All game, Oklahoma has shown heavy blitz on these passing downs, and more times than not, they backed off of it. That essentially was a 2-man rush, and everyone else dropping into coverage. There's Brent Venables, the D coordinator.
You won't see a more fiery coach in all of college football. 6th punt for Vanderkamp. Kenny Stills lets it go over his head and into the end zone for a touchback. The 50-yard punt with a net of 30 yards. Back to Norman right after this. Tuesday, don't miss part 1 of the explosive 2-part Sons of Anarchy season finale. It's right here Tuesday at 10 only on FX. 14:37 to play in the fourth quarter, 23-6. OU, as the Sooners trying to bounce back from that loss last week to RG3 and the Baylor Bears.
If Iowa State wants to make something happen, they need to force a big turnover here. See Landry Jones not going without touchdown pass in consecutive games.
And the handoff straight ahead. And this will be Brendan Williams. Williams has had a fine day. That's a 7-yard gain. Here's a young man that they have worked in slowly to allow him to understand the system and get acclimated to playing at this level.
And remember, in this system of offense, protecting your quarterback is number one for a running back. And for freshmen coming in, that's often the biggest bugaboo for them, is learning pass protection.
He's run the ball hard, though. 7 carries, 45 yards. And they give it to him once again. Tries to get outside and does. Down the sideline, turning on the juice and out of bounds. Had little Adrian Peterson head bop there as he got down the field.
It's the right place for it, isn't it? And he has come along slower than what I think the fans wanted, because kids are so highly touted out of high school now. You feel like you know them before they even get here. And his reputation was that he was a game breaker, and many OU fans thought he'd be in the lineup from game one.
Picked up 17 on that play. First down at the 44. OU really running the football in the second half. Keeping it on the ground. Williams sliding as he loses an edge. It'll get back to the line of scrimmage. A.J. Klein. Often wonder, Charles, though you're seeing all these SEC teams playing extremely well. At one time, 1, 2, and 3 in the country. Oklahoma, prolific offense. What would it be like if some of these teams had to play a big game in really cold weather? How about the national championship game in Green Bay?
Changes what you do. It changes you offensively. And the interesting part is those SEC teams you're talking about might be more equipped because of their balance on offense.
There you go. Second down. Incomplete. Intended for Finch out of the backfield. It would be nice to see some of those bowl BCS games, rather, rotate to cold weather cities, whether it be Chicago or New York or something of that nature.
As long as you can go to the places they're going now for the week before for the fun, and then go play the game there. The fans are like, are you kidding me? You're sending me where in the dead of winter?
Green Bay, third down and 10 at the 44. Landry Jones steps up over the middle, and it's caught. Jackson gets all the way to the 30. That's a pickup of 24 yards.
And this is a freshman, and look at it, Landry Jones. Look at the nice move. He climbs the pocket, meaning he stepped up into the throw and threw an absolute strike to the freshman Jackson.
Jones drops it off and incomplete as James Hanna bobbled it. And he's frustrated with not being able to secure that football.
And it is senior day. And oftentimes on senior day, seniors don't usually play their best game. Too much emotion involved, too many memories, too many thoughts. But today we've seen a lot of seniors for Oklahoma play quite well. That drop notwithstanding for James Hanna.
Finch. Oh, Roy Finch. A pinball. 6-yard gain as Jacquez Washington finally stops him.
A little skip step there. Nice move he lays on Jake McDonough, the defensive tackle, before getting it upfield for additional yardage.
Third down and 4 at the 26-yard line. And a timeout.
First charge timeout, Iowa State.
Called by Iowa State, and that is their first. We will take a break. 12:03 to play. Fourth quarter, Oklahoma with a 23-6 lead. Welcome back. Blake Bell looking forward to getting back on the field, because that means that the Sooners are close to the end zone or in short yardage situations. But right now it'll be Landry Jones. 3rd down and 4 at the 26.
Nice little bunch here with Jackson and Kenny Stills.
Jones looks that way. Over the middle. And picked off. Benton with the football. And Taryn Benton plucks it out of the air. Jackson can't hold on. And we have a turnover with 11:53 to go in the 4th quarter. The 3rd turnover of the day for OU.
And the #1 selling point on Camille Jackson, his hands. They raved about him this summer. And on that play, he tips it up for Taryn Benton, who goes to the football and picks it off. Benton, remember, had that key interception in the 2nd overtime in their big win against Oklahoma State.
So 4 turnovers for Iowa State, 3 turnovers for OU. And the Cyclones have it at their own 10. This ball caught by Reynolds. And he'll get out of bounds as he crosses the 15, gets up to the 17. Gain of 7. DeMontre Hurst there defensively for the Sooners. Second down and 3. Quarterback draw for Jared Barnett. And Barnett, maybe 2 on the play. And the officials calling timeout.
Injured player on the field.
Yeah, the Oklahoma player's trying to get to the sideline and wasn't quite making it, ends up taking a knee before he gets to the sideline, and they called the injury. I think that's Frank Alexander.
Trying to rub that shoulder out. Another wonderful game from Frank Alexander. 3rd down and short. Cyclones need a yard. Woody. And he will get the 1st down. Jeff Woody, such a tough tackle-to-tackle runner.
Dependable, isn't he?
Yes, he is. Sure-handed.
Knows what he's doing, gets his head, gets everything he can out of his talent. You know, he had 61 rushing yards against Kansas. 47 of them came in the final 247 as they were trying to lock that game down.
1st down to the 22. Barnett stepping up, and he's taken down from behind. Tony Jefferson, as well as Corey Nelson, who made the tackle there, have been 2 players that we've been talking about an awful lot on this Sooner defense.
Corey Nelson was playing behind Travis Lewis, and in the spring, he got a lot of work. They said he was their best player and started the opener when Lewis was hurt. He's a terrific player. Tony Jefferson at a variety of positions, a true hybrid, has played at an All-America level all year long.
2nd down and 10 to the 22-yard line. Here's the option, the pitch. Hollis spins, and Hollis taken down by guess who? Tony Jefferson.
He's something in open field. Watch him. He's going to come up and make the play and stay on his feet in order to make the play on the pitch. Eludes the block, stays, dances with Hollis, and gets enough of him to knock him down.
3rd down 9 to the 23-yard line. And to the sideline. Incomplete, intended for Reynolds. Dangerous throw. As Jamel Fleming, who they feel is a legitimate professional corner. down the road. He was in the vicinity.
That drive on the football, he's in great position. Ball's thrown low and away. He missed a couple of games with a knee injury. But remember the game he played against Texas earlier this year with 13 tackles, ripped the ball away from a receiver and took it the other way for a touchdown.
Kenny Stills back deep, and he'll get a chance to run it. Stills over the 40 up to the 44. A 40-yard punt and a 6-yard return. Jeff Woody with the tackle on special teams. All right, a look at the Sprint Unlimited update.
Started early, Frank Alexander popping it free, Colvin with the recovery, Tom Wart with the batted ball in the air, Travis Lewis with the interception, Blake Bell, one of his 2 rushing touchdowns. There's the second one, same play. Oklahoma showing power near the goal line.
So the Sooners take over at the 43. Brandon Williams in at running back for OU. Sooners really committed to running the football as Williams finds more space and picks up a first down. Jake Knott with the tackle.
The offensive line does a nice job, don't they? You noted that earlier, partner, about how well they blocked today and moved. How about that movement, just on their feet into open space and engaging people at the second and third level.
35 carries, 175 yards for the Oklahoma running offense. Here's a reverse, a double reverse. Franks around the corner. Franks down the sideline. Franks, one man to beat, and he's down at the 1. 53 yards. He had a 43-yard reverse earlier in the day. 2 carries, 96 yards for Trey Franks.
So if a reverse earlier is good, a double reverse later is better.
So the Sooners have the football at the Iowa State 1. First down and goal. They bring Blake Bell into the game for short yardage. Guess what's coming? And Bell runs it maybe back to the line of scrimmage. Jake Knott, first man 2.
I thought he had it if he just follows the fullback to the line of scrimmage. Both fullbacks to the right side. He cut it back into traffic. Stays with the fullbacks and burrows. I think he's got it because that's the same play we keep seeing. 2 fullbacks, power. Let's see if they run any type of a counter off of it now.
They run the option. The pitch. Miller. Oh, and he is hog-tied and taken down by Taryn Benton. Oklahoma getting fancy, and Iowa State makes the play on this play.
Benton coming from the corner position. This is really well played because he sees it coming. They've run that power set so many times. And on that one, they sniffed it out, and as you noted, puts him down.
Landry Jones back in the game. 3rd down goal at the 4. Jones pumps. And incomplete. Intended for Trent Rattery. And that'll bring on Michael Honeycutt again. Oklahoma stalling in the red zone on this trip.
I don't know how they grade the defense at Iowa State, but I would think the defensive backfield coach Bobby Elliott would have to hand out pretty good grades for his guys today.
They have played well. So Michael Honeycutt in to attempt a 21-yarder. He's good for 20, 27, and 36, 3 for 3. And make it 4 for 4. 6:48 to play in the 4th quarter. OU. Double reverse. Sooners take a 26-6 lead. Fox College Football is presented by Russell Athletic, who reminds you that together we are. And by Buick, see real stories of human achievement on the Buick Human Highlight Reel at ncaa.com/Buick. 26-6, what a big day for Michael Honeycutt. 4 field goals. And Oklahoma taking a 26-6 lead with 6:48 to play in the fourth quarter. Sooners looking for their 9th win of the season, their 6th win in conference play.
They're trying to tune up for Bedlam next week.
How about that?
When they go to Stillwater.
Who do you like in that game, Charles?
Oh boy, I knew you were going to ask me to put me on the spot. Oklahoma State has not beaten Oklahoma in 8 straight tries. They seem to be due.
Very interesting. Sooners trying to finish this one out strong. Iowa State looking to get something going offensively. Jarvis West picks it up at the 20. And he is taken down at the 30-yard line. Aaron Franklin with the tackle. Now this is senior day here in Norman. 15 seniors being honored, and they also have another senior on their mind.
Hey, well, one teammate that's not here tonight, baby. This is for him. Tonight, this is for him, baby. Here we go. 12. 1, 2, 3, 12.
And they're talking about Austin Box, the linebacker who passed away this past summer, honoring him in pregame. His parents holding his jersey. What a tough time for them. Appreciating the gesture and honor, but obviously missing their son.
First down and 10 at the 31. Barnett firing to the sideline, incomplete. Intended for Aaron Horn. A lot of very good young quarterbacks. Emerging quarterbacks in this Big 12 conference as you look at the remembering of Austin Box.
Marcus McFarland, the defensive tackle, wearing the jersey today. A defender would wear it every game, and that was decided by Travis Lewis and Landry Jones, who wears number 12 on offense every week.
Second down and 10 at the 31. And a handoff to Woody. As Frank Alexander stops him. Now we're talking about some of the young quarterbacks in the conference. If you look at this kid here, Jared Barnett, James Franklin at Missouri, although they are leaving to head to the SEC.
Seth Dagey at Texas Tech.
Very good. We don't know what RG3 is going to do, as well as Landry Jones.
Young man at Kansas, Jordan Webb, has played well throughout the year despite the team's record.
And Barnett in trouble. Throws incomplete. Almost intercepted by Aaron Colvin. Tannehill.
Colin Klein at Kansas State, who we've seen with Blake Bell today, kind of does a Colin Klein imitation, just not as a full-time player.
That's right. A lot of smiles on that Oklahoma sideline. Fourth down and 7 at the 34. Now Iowa State going for it.
And then now you have no choice because of the time frame and the score.
Timeout. Oklahoma.
And the Sooners will burn a timeout.
And they thought they would punt it. they thought they were going to punt it, and they had the defense, and they were rotating who had to be in and who had to come out.
Coach Bob Stoops coaching until the very end. What a wonderful job he's done. Let's take a look at some of these great quarterbacks in this league. Robert Griffin, Landry Jones, Brandon Weeden, Oklahoma State. And there's Seth Dagey.
You know, a case could easily be made for the first 3 to all head to New York City for the Heisman Trophy ceremony.
That's right.
You could easily make that case. Now, all 3 will not be there. It's just law averages against them. But you could make a case for it, that they would have to be guys in consideration for that award.
But I would say 2 of 3 will make it.
I think, yeah, I'm not going to disagree with you on that one at all, not one bit. But I think Robert Griffin III last week really propelled himself.
4th down and 7 for Iowa State. Barnett underneath, incomplete. Ball dropped by Darius Darks. And the Cyclones will turn it over on downs with 5:45 remaining in the ballgame.
And I think that was, I keep talking about the continuation and the maturation for Barnett. I thought that was a mature throw because he eluded trouble and really stepped into that and put it right on his receiver, and Darks just did not catch it.
So with 5:45 remaining in the 4th, Oklahoma, the 9th-ranked team in the country. Sooners taking the field. Landry Jones not finished yet. And a timeout called by OU.
Second charge timeout. Oklahoma, 30-second timeout.
I think that's one of those lapse of concentration timeouts that teams had to take. Things are rocking along, things are going easy. They're calling for a formation or personnel grouping. Not everyone's hearing. Is the communication good? A lot of them just look at the clock saying, when's this bad boy over on senior day? Bob Stoops not going to have that. That's not going to fly. That will be heard about in staff meeting and with the team.
Coach Brewster, Oklahoma, Oklahoma State. What do you see next week?
Well, I see a heck of a football game. Bedlam, I'll tell you what, I don't believe that Oklahoma State truly thinks they can win this game. It's been 8 years in a row, and the psychological effect that OU has on Oklahoma State, I think Oklahoma wins again.
And that game will be for the Big 12 championship next week. Remember, no championship game. Kenny Stills underneath, incomplete.
But a de facto championship game.
Exactly.
And concentration time is really kicking in here, I think, for Oklahoma. You know, Camille Jackson should have come up with that catch. They got tipped off his hands, turned to an interception for Landry Jones. That one he put right on Kenny Stills. Almost wonder if Landry's going to take a timeout himself and call his receivers again and say, fellas, let's finish this thing out, okay? Let's do this thing right before we go to Stillwater.
And the handoff, Roy Finch. Finch has played really hard football this afternoon. As Lang makes the tackles along with A.J. Klein. Roy Finch, hard-nosed little player.
So versatile. Use him as a running back, use him in the slot to catch passes. They talked about with his size, less than 170 pounds, they wanted to limit the touches. They wanted to try to keep the 25 or below. One game I know he touched it 26 times, so that blew that out of the water. But he's handled that load, the increased workload, since the injury to Dominique Whaley quite well.
Finch. And Finch taken down by Jake Knott after a 1-yard pickup. Makes it 4th down and 4. With 4:45 and counting to go. Ball placed at around the 28-yard line. Landry Jones, and picked off. This time, it's Reeves. All the way up to midfield, and he goes out of bounds. 27-yard return. 4 turnovers for each team in this game.
Coming out of the half, Coach Brewster talked about Oklahoma's goal was to play a clean second half. We have not seen that on the offensive side. Jeremy Reeves picks off Landry Jones to end another drive for Oklahoma. We haven't seen that, and when they go to Stillwater, Oklahoma State's defense thrives on taking the football away.
First down. Barnett rolling out of the pocket, throws on the run, and lays that one right in there At the 31-yard line for Albert Gary, the sophomore from Ocala, Florida. It's a 20-yard gain.
It's a well-thrown football. On the move, sticks it, slots it into his receiver.
Handing it off, it's Hollis. And Sam Proctor in now, comes up with the tackle.
Final timeout. Oklahoma, 30-second timeout.
3:52 to play in the fourth, 26-6, OU. How about for Iowa State? As you look at the Cyclones wrapping up the season.
Bowl eligible for the second time in 3 years, which is very impressive. Picked off another team that they shouldn't have beat, quote unquote. Another upset, the biggest one of all, being Oklahoma State, where they have 56 or 65-2 in their history versus teams ranked in the top 6 in the country.
Also, remember they beat Texas Tech after Texas Tech beat this Oklahoma team.
Texas Tech beats Oklahoma and has a home game with Iowa State the next week. All the momentum, and Iowa State goes down there and beats them 41-7. Texas Tech hasn't won a game since.
That's right.
The last win was here at OU, and Texas and Iowa State started that slide.
Second down and 1 of the 22. And the handoff to Hollis. And Hollis picks up the first down. Tony Jefferson stops him. Duran Hollis, a freshman from Fort Worth, Texas. A lot of Texas kids on this Iowa State roster.
And they you know, listen, everyone recruits that state to go get guys, and they always feel like they have something to prove when they play the big boys of the Big 12. Oftentimes you hear the same refrain. I didn't really get recruited by them, but I think I was good enough to go play for them. And they play hard, whether it's Oklahoma, which recruits Texas awfully hard, or all the Texas schools.
Second down and 7 at the 17. Jeff Woody in the game, lined up in the backfield. Barnett underneath, tried to thread the needle. Intended for Jarvis West, and he was triple covered.
And Oklahoma's offense down the stretch has put a little extra pressure on the defense. They've got plenty of cushion in terms of score, but they've been back on the field on sudden change a few times here in the second half, where they've gone to the bench and they're relaxing, and all of a sudden you hear sudden change, and you're right back out on the field. They're like, again? And Iowa State's capitalizing this time with their drive.
Barnett decides to run and is tackled hard by Tom Ward. And there's an injured player on the field. And that may be Alexander again with the shoulder. Frank Alexander had that shoulder rubbed out earlier.
He's had some year at defensive end for Oklahoma. Has to be one of the finalists for Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year.
4 tackles and a forced fumble today. Remember, he came into the game with 8.5 sacks. Injuries just a major problem for this Oklahoma team. Ronell Lewis, knee injury, out for today's game. Ryan Broyles tore an anterior cruciate ligament in his left knee against Texas A&M November 5th, out for the season. He's on crutches. He had the surgery. Dominique Whaley, the walk-on star running back, broke his left ankle on the first play, week 8 at Kansas State, and declared out for the season. Jazz Reynolds, they said he had a shoulder injury earlier, and then it was announced that he was suspended for violating team rules.
And those injuries that we're showing there are the ones that guys aren't playing. We're not even talking about the normal bumps and bruises and maybe limiting some of the effectiveness of players that everyone has on their roster this time of year. And they cannot afford to go to Stillwater without that big guy ready to go.
And he is certainly favoring that left shoulder. Frank Alexander had his best game last week career high, 10 tackles, 3.5 for losses. 4th down and 6 at the 16. Barnett throwing in the end zone, incomplete. And the Cyclones turn it over on downs.
Heavy dose of throwing in the offseason for Jared Barnett. He's going to get plenty of work. Have himself ready to go in the spring. Another missed opportunity there with a receiver going down the middle. And the ball sails a little bit too far. Very impressed with him. You can see where the areas of improvement are for Jared Barnett, and it'll be fun to watch, Gus, over the years to see that kid keep improving.
So the Sooners offense come back on the field. Our 1st and 10 line is brought to you by Russell Athletic. Landry Jones and OU will start with 2:26 to play and the ball at the 16. The handoff, Roy Finch breaks it back. Finch, and he picks up a 1st down. Stopped by Rumpelhammer. The turnovers a story today. Oklahoma with 4 and Iowa State with 4.
But not as many points off of turnovers as you might expect. You're talking 4 turnovers only turning into 9 points for Oklahoma and just 6 for Iowa State. That's pretty unusual.
Well, the Sooners have rushed for 235 yards this afternoon. A combination of Roy Finch, Brandon Williams, Brennan Clay, and Trey Franks on 2 reverses, boosting those numbers. 235 rushing yards, 256 passing yards, close to 500 total on the season. Oklahoma averaging, though, 551 a game, 164 rushing, 387 passing. 2nd down and 7.
I think they'd look at the turnover number and think to themselves, without the turnovers, we're rather with our normal number.
Give the Iowa State defense, though, some credit. They play some solid football this afternoon.
Yeah, I think we've noted that throughout the game, where they've just battled and scratched and clawed, kept them from touchdowns at times, forced field goal attempts. Offense unable to get in gear enough to make the defense's efforts totally pay off.
And as Coach Brewster said, this is a Paul Rhodes team. They play hard every single snap. Not only do they not have the same bullets, they're not playing with the same gun as some of these other teams in the Big 12.
Now, a little bit harder when you're in Ames, Iowa, trying to compete with the Texases and the Oklahomas in your conference. But they've got a big one next week themselves. They get Kansas State, another top team that they're going to play against, that they'll have an opportunity to beat.
So Brandon Williams running the football, and that should do it. Oklahoma 26, Iowa State 6. The Sooners improved to 9-2, 6-2 in conference play. Bedlam next week as they travel to Stillwater to take on Oklahoma State. And as for Iowa State, falling to 6-5, 3-5 in the Big 12. Kansas State next week for the Cyclones. 26-6 the final score here in Norman on Senior Day.
Good way to close it out for the seniors.
Oklahoma rebounding after the loss last week in Waco to Baylor.
I just hope that Oklahoma's injuries are healed sufficiently, that they're going at almost full strength to go to Stillwater and play. They'll need Frank Alexander and all the pass rushers. The way the Cowboys fill the air with footballs with Brandon Whedon throwing to a plethora of receivers, not just Justin Blackman.
All right, Coach Brew is down on the field with the starting quarterback of the Oklahoma Sooners, Landry Jones.
Thank you, Gus. One of the top quarterbacks in the nation, a Heisman Trophy candidate. Tough conditions today. Talk a little bit about your performance today.
You know, it was good. There's definitely some plays out there that I missed, you know, but in these conditions, you'll take a win. You'll take the W every time, you know. Just want to thank my teammates and God just for the opportunity to get to play out here, you know.
Hey, how about this? How do you feel about being taken out of the game in the Wildcat? Can't you do that?
Blake's about 260 pounds, so he's like a tight end back there that can throw it around a little bit, so we'll let him continue to do that.
Talk a little bit about what Austin Box means to your football team and what it meant today to play on Senior Day without him.
You know, Austin was a selfless guy. He's you know, he's ultimate team guy. Miss him out here. Just want to say just thank you for the opportunity that I got to play with you for a while, you know. And Box, I know you're looking down on us right now, and we laid it all out here on the line for you.
Landry, thanks a lot. Good luck next week in Bedlam.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
All right, next week, Fox Sports is proud to bring you 2 historic college football championship games. On Friday, it's the first ever Pac-12 championship game starting at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Then on Saturday, the inaugural Big Ten championship game from Indianapolis at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific. Both games air live in high definition on your local Fox station. Coming up next after a commercial break, Kevin Frazier and Marcus Allen in the studio for the Russell Athletic postgame show. 26-6 the final score. OU winning their final home game against Iowa State. Charles Davis, Tim Brewster, and our entire crew, I'm Gus Johnson saying so long from Norman, Oklahoma.